from the treatment for the encephalitis, she got kidney disease and heart failure.
While I was at school, I'd just be worried about her constantly.
I just get a bit lonely.
You know what?
Become like an
I was
overgrown
hoping we were
iPad
going to get
kid.
through at least the first episode.
Oh, definitely not.
What you think is like normal and that's what you do every day?
That I was just so tired and I got really sick. I developed something called chronic fatigue. Please, can we cut that out? That was really embarrassing. She does her best, like she's trying to get over this illness.
Yeah.
I've been
Be a
I've
singing
wanted-
police officer.
You're under arrest!
That is...
because I don't think she wants to acknowledge that, you know, she's got a child who's not only taking care of her but also has severe mental health, you know what I mean?
I want to help young people and I want to help young carers.
Welcome to the Still Young, Still Caring podcast, a podcast for young carers, by young carers, and the adults that help them and support them in their lives. This podcast is going to take a deep dive into all the different areas around being a young carer and the issues that they may face and kind of what their interactions with experts, with other young carers, schools, and how that can interact and kind of impact them in different areas of their life. The best people to talk about all these situations are the young carers themselves, which is why not just only me and professionals across a number of episodes will be kind of invited, but we have young carers who are here with me as well. My name is Scott. I'm the Youth Participation Lead at Gloucestershire Young Carers, and we are a charity that works with and for young people who support a family member in their households. And with me today, we'll go down the line. So sat next to me on my right is...
Christian. I am 17.
I'm Lottie and I'm 13.
I'm Grace and I'm 15.
Excellent. So, three young people, myself, and behind the camera, behind the kind of the music decks and everything, we also have other young people. We have Ty, we have Samia, who are sat there behind the scenes making sure we don't go completely off piece and ruin this on the first go. And Hannah is sat there as well, who's just been pointed out, who's kind of just given us a wave back there. But as is customary on anything that we do from a kind of my point of view and a youth participation point of view of Gloucestershire Young Carers is an icebreaker. And it was decided by everyone that even when we're doing a podcast, an icebreaker is still going to be where we go. So, the customary icebreaker that we play at Gloucestershire Young Carers is the Smarties game. Now, to anyone that does not know what the Smarties game is, though we have a bag of Smarties, all different colours. You pick a random Smartie out of the pack, and that colour correlates to a specific question. We'll answer the question and hopefully get off to a bit of a good start. So, we'll start off. I'll go right down the line. Grace, pick a Smartie.
Oh, okay. A red one.
Reds. So, favourite food? Nice and easy.
Lasagna. I absolutely adore lasagna.
Lasagna or just Italian food in general?
Lasagna.
Specifically
Yeah,
lasagna.
like Garfield. I love lasagna.
I say the best thing I ever did at uni was we decided to experiment with lasagna. And we made lasagna, but instead of using like pasta sheets, we used garlic bread as the
That
lasagna.
sounds so
And then we
good.
swapped it around at one
And the bread
point.
goes soggy.
No, it was perfect.
God.
But then we decided to flip it around the other way, and we hollowed out a massive loaf of bread and built a lasagna inside the loaf of bread,
That's
Oh.
lush.
and then topped it and turned it into a garlic bread. So lasagna built inside the garlic bread.
There's also that Greek lasagna called like moussaka. I love that one as well.
Osaka. Love it as well. Go on then, Lottie.
Blue.
Blue. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Invisibility.
Why invisibility?
I don't know, like I've always just like felt like I can just sort of do whatever I want and I like the idea of that.
Hide
I'm a
away.
bit naughty.
Take that.
Secretive.
Fair.
Christian.
Not secretive, I do very outgoing stuff, but improv that.
Oh, pink, I think.
Pink. Favourite thing you have done with GYC?
Ooh. I'm going to say went to London with Grace.
Yeah, that
and met
was
all
so
the
good.
all the politicians there.
Do you want to give a bit more what actually happened
So
on that day?
fun.
Because that was a long day, and obviously Grace was
a long
involved
day.
as well.
That was amazing.
So basically, we took the train down to London to go speak with the politicians because it was Young Carers Day, and we spoke to all the politicians in there. Had a little meeting about young carers to them.
Didn't we even get mentioned by Sir Ed Davey, like during Parliament?
We got mentioned by Sir and one of the local MPs, Cameron Thomas.
Yeah, that was so
mentioned us
good.
as well.
Yeah.
I would say the one part of that day that was interesting was the open top bus tour.
That was really good.
That I think you guys went on the radio. I think.
Yeah.
I know Grace did.
Yeah,
I
I got
did.
interviewed by this. I can't remember what it was called. Greatest Hits Radio or something like that.
Yes. And then the weather was torrential,
Yeah.
and I ended up being sat there in just my shirt because I gave my jacket and my coat and my umbrella to Izzy, who hijacked everything I owned, and I was just
She
there
hijacked my
soaking
umbrella
I
as well.
She took everyone's. I think she must have had 3 umbrellas by the end of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
that was a very cold
At
and
least her
wet
hair
day.
would stay straight.
Hmm?
At least her hair would stay straight.
It did.
I actually respect her for it.
Right, I've got yellow. If I could go on holiday anywhere in the world, where would I go?
You've literally been everywhere anyway.
I haven't been many places. I would want to go at the moment, seeing as the weather's turning, it's going to be rainy. I
Scott,
just want to go
that's
somewhere
orange.
that's hot. Is it orange?
Yeah.
Is that orange or yellow?
Yeah,
That's orange.
Pretty sure
Right,
that's
this is a
orange.
really good time to point out that I'm actually colourblind. So
Oh
this,
no.
this is a terrible game to play. All right, well in that case, orange, most used app on my phone, it's Instagram. Instagram is
Instagram
by
Reels.
far- Yeah,
Really? Imagine Scott scrolling on Instagram Reels.
it's literally that.
Oh,
Yeah. Watching TikToks that were probably out a week ago on Instagram.
Degenerate.
Scott, how many countries have you been to?
I don't know off the top of my head.
To 18. I don't know
Close.
if we've
That's
got more than
impressive.
you.
80. Can you remember them all?
Yeah.
Go on.
I'll try. So there's obviously Wales, and then Latvia. I went to America, Thailand, Albania, Greece, Italy, France, Spain, Croatia.
That's 10. 8 more.
Yeah, I need 8 more. Qatar, UAE, Bahrain.
Bahrain.
It's like country next to Dubai and stuff.
Mm.
Savannahs. So that's actually 19.
Oh wow, that's impressive.
I don't know the
I,
other.
I mean, you did more than
five.
you said anyway, so I'll take that because I can't remember half the places that I've been like that. So, well done, fair enough. So, the premise of this kind of week's podcast is we're looking at essentially what is a young carer. The aim of this podcast is to kind of inform other young people that might not know they're a young carer about being a young carer and what that might be, but also professionals. It might be parents, could be people from schools, could be social workers, police, you name it. If they come into contact with young people, we want to kind of make them more aware of what young carers are. And we can't really dive into the extra little bits around being a young carer and the different things that it entails if we don't discuss just what a young carer is in the first place. So, is there anybody that kind of wants to tell me what a young carer is? I'm looking at Grace. Grace
Right.
caught my eye. Go on. What is a young carer?
A young carer is a person under the age of 18 who cares for either a member of family. Is that something like that?
Yep. So is
Like a parent or
yeah, could be
sibling.
parent. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, does anybody kind of want to kind of give some examples of different caring roles and what they might be?
There's like drug abuse as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
Things like
substance
that.
misuse.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Mental health problems.
Mental
Yeah.
health. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like chronic illnesses and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, all these different things that kind of people can care for. So, it kind of as a national kind of definition, the kind of what we go by is a young carer is someone under the age of 18 who cares for a friend or family member who, due to illness, disability, a mental health problem, or an addiction, cannot cope without their support. That in different counties means different things. So if you're listening and you're not from the Gloucestershire county, reach out to Young Carers Organisation and see what age they go from. For us, we go from 8 up to 16 when it comes to young carers, and then from 16 up to 24 for young adult carers. As a young carer, there's so much that you guys do on kind of a regular basis. Is there anything kind of what type of things on a day-to-day basis might you, either yourself or kind of other young carers that you know might get up to? Christian, what about you?
Well, I care for my gran mostly, and she was in a wheelchair and she struggled to walk for a while. And I kind of like basically just helped her around the house when she needed it. If she needed help up the stairs or like getting into her wheelchair, but she mostly walks now, luckily. Yeah, I still care for her. Like she'll still need help because she can't walk fully. Like she can walk, but like only for a certain point.
Mm-hmm. So was there quite a lot of kind of household tasks, kind of helping around the
Yeah,
house? Quite a lot?
some there was some, yeah. Mostly like cleaning stuff that was on the floor or like if things got fallen off, or just like washing up as well.
Yeah, all those sort of things. Is there any kind of other caring tasks? I mean, we've spoken about physical kind of caring tasks there a lot, like helping around the house. Do kind of any of you help around the house in that sense?
Yeah, you can. You want?
I don't really like help around the house like too much, but I have to sort of help her, like my mum, emotionally, and like because she goes through a lot, and like it like the reason I'm a young carer is because my mum's got high functioning ADHD, tics and seizures, and so if she like has a seizure, I have to be there in case it gets like too bad or anything, and then like I sort of just have to deal with it's like all the time, and I don't really get a break from like anything.
What about you, Grace?
I help my mum with her prescriptions and stuff like that, with her medication. I help her around the house as well. I do like washing up sometimes and stuff. My mum's quite an independent person though. She doesn't like to admit it. Like, she doesn't like
She's a
to
proud
admit.
Yorkshireman.
Yeah, definitely. She doesn't like to admit that like her child cares for her. But I do. I go to the doctors to pick up prescriptions. I help with her medication and stuff like that. So I do all sorts for her to help with her illness.
Yeah, and I think we've all touched on different things there, and I think if we're looking at kind of definition coming from kind of Carers Trust about different things that young carers do, practical tasks, we mentioned cooking, we mentioned housework, things like going out and doing the shopping, physical care, helping someone out of bed, helping someone up the stairs, emotional support, which Lottie mentioned, which is a huge caring role for everyone, and I think while physical tasks can kind of ebb and flow in terms of how much we do, in terms of that emotional caring side of things, that's I think one that kind of continues to stay, even kind of once you're past being a young carer, that person's still in your life, and therefore that kind of caring role never really leaves. Personal care in terms of helping someone kind of get changed, get dressed, maybe wash themselves in some severe cases. I mean, obviously you mentioned about medication and doing prescriptions and things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
just how old are you again?
15.
There we go. A 15-year-old managing medication and things is kind of quite crazy in many sense. I mean, I've looked at medication when I'm older and I forget mine and kind of can't get my head around it. So doing it
Yeah,
at that age,
it's really difficult to remember it all.
yeah, this thing, and you know, you do an incredible job as everyone does, and you know, there's things like that. For the young adult carers that we work with, there's so many that manage their family's budget in total, kind of make sure that they're spending, making sure the bills are paid in that sense. And also, as we're kind of seeing now with more and more, especially kind of in Gloucestershire, we're seeing kind of like a lot of asylum seekers and refugees coming in, actually, people where English isn't their first language, helping communicate and translation, which is becoming an increasing kind of issue, which we need to support young people with as well. So there's so many different things that young people and young carers help with and do. I kind of, in terms of, we're looking at it from a kind of Gloucestershire perspective. Can anybody remember, because you've heard me say this a million times, how many young carers we estimate there are in the county?
Did you say there were like 7,000?
Spot on, yeah. Which is roughly around 2 in every classroom, which is crazy. If we look at that kind of from a national perspective, we're talking around just under 140,000 young carers that do 20 plus hours of care a week.
That's a lot.
I mean, that is a lot. And when we've got, I mean, there's only 3 of you here, and you think how many more there must be out there that you don't know about, kind of whether that be in your schools or kind of clubs or whatever you might do. Then just kind of as an additional stat, there's around 15,000 that do 50 plus hours of care a week. Your school week is around 32 and a half hours. So imagine doing your school week and then adding another 50 on top. Like, I can't, that's mind-blowing. And so there's so much there, and you know, we might kind of jump into some of the kind of statistics on a national perspective as we kind of go through, but we're looking at different caring roles, and we've kind of delved into each other's caring role just a little bit there. But I mean, for example, Chris, how long do you think how long have you been a young carer for, or young adult carer?
Probably since I was probably 4, maybe 5, something like that.
And when was it that someone kind of mentioned to you about being a young carer, say put in touch with either, obviously in this case our service, but a kind of young carer service in that sense?
When I was like 9.
So
something
yeah,
like that.
so a good kind of almost 5-year gap of doing things, which is a long time in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to jump Lottie and I'm going to go Grace. How long do you reckon you've been caring for? Your situation is slightly different, so yours kind of came on out of nowhere, really.
So mine did come on really randomly out of nowhere when my mum got sick. She got sick in 2020, so I think I was about 11 or 12. I think, yeah.
And when were you kind of put in touch with?
I was put in touch with carers when my auntie found them first.
Well done, auntie.
In 2023. So I think I was 13 or 14.
Okay, so only a little bit of a gap there.
Yeah.
And Lottie.
So when my mum started not having seizures, but when it sort of started getting bad, I was maybe about 2 years old. I was very little. But when I actually started being able to help her, I was I was trying to help her maybe at the ages of 4 to 7, and then I got referred and I got wary about it when I was 10, I think. So yeah.
So and then it kind of the referral was put in when you were around 10ish.
Yeah,
you were primary
6,
school, weren't you? Yeah. And lo and behold, I believe it was Hannah that came and saw you on that first instance. Would you look
Same
at
for
that?
me as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Hannah locked in.
I can't remember who came to me. It was a different
It was
group.
Hannah, but yeah, actually really weird.
It could have been Hannah. Hannah's everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I think we've kind of seen there that caring starts from such a young age, and like I say, you're 17 now, and you've been going from 4 years old. That's a long, long time to be doing that caring role, and how that impacts your life in different ways, and we'll kind of get into it in a minute. But that gap in terms of caring and then actually getting support. I mean, in that time, was there any other support networks that kind of you got, or any help from school or anything that may have kind of assisted?
Not really, no.
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 Other people are shaking their heads as well. Does kind of.
No.
Can you remember who put your referral in, Lottie? Was it your school?
My mum spoke to me about it, but then she went to my school about it because it was affecting me and my schoolwork and stuff. And then so I think it was sort of both of them together, but I'm not too sure.
So I mean, it takes on average around 3 years for a young person to be identified as a young carer. And there's lots of different reasons. I mean, Grace, you said yourself, your mum doesn't really like the idea of you being.
Well, that we just didn't know it existed either.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
and this, it's the idea of nobody wakes up one morning and goes, "I'm a young carer." It just doesn't happen because
that's what you think is normal, and that's what you do every day.
Exactly, and for example, if you're starting when you're 2 or when you're 4 years old, it's just normal. You don't really think anything of it in that sense. So I guess that's a bit of kind of what a young carer is, and kind of certainly some different things that you do. But if we're kind of looking at a typically maybe a rougher day, some kind of when times maybe are a little bit harder, you kind of parents, whoever you care for, kind of are having a bit of a tougher time, and you've kind of got to step in a bit more. What might that look like? And obviously, if we're talking about mental health and even just kind of physical caring, obviously there are good days and bad days and how things change. But I mean, like Lottie, for example, what would a typical day look like when your mum's having kind of a particularly bad time?
So when she has a bad day, it does lead to very loud, very noticeable seizures, and then it could also lead to like sickness and vomiting and stuff. And then it's also, I've got to be really wary of what I say, because if what I say reminds her of stuff that's gone on that's upsets her or anything, then it will change her mood for the next 2 weeks, and I don't want to be held responsible for that, so I've got to be really I forgot the word, really careful of what I say and stuff. And so I get a bit lonely, and also I'm an only child at my mum's house, so I'm just sort of by myself.
And when your mum has a seizure, what do you have to do in that situation? Because that must be quite scary at times.
It's I don't really know how to explain it, because it's not like she can't do anything. I just kind of have to sit there, because if I do try and help, she's like, no, I don't need help. A bit like Grace's mum, she doesn't really want to know that she's the reason that I'm here. And it's I don't know, it's screeching, just like high pitched noises. And when my friends have been around, they've been like, "Is your mum like throwing up? Is she okay?" And like it's noticeable. Like she could be upstairs in her room and I could be downstairs and I could still hear it. And like if it happens, I just don't get a break and I can't give myself a break. 'Cause then my mum will worry about me and then like stress out more.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like I say, each day is different, but when days like that do come along, it can be quite a lot. I mean, Christian, your caring role again was slightly different in terms of it was definitely more physically engaging. What would a typical day kind of look like for you if we were kind of going from when you wake up in the morning to
well, towards the end if it was a school day, obviously I'd have to get myself dressed and everything, and then get all my stuff together. If it was like a typical day of us going out, then I'd like have to make sure like my gran's alright in the shower, she hasn't like fallen over or anything, before I even get dressed myself, and then don't know, really just help her down the stairs, help with breakfast, and then help her in a wheelchair and go out for the day.
So quite a full-on morning then.
Yeah.
Yeah, just waking up and kind of making sure. And I think the point I kind of picked out there was more the fact that I've done all of this before I've even got myself ready.
Yeah.
And it's kind of putting that person before yourself in that situation. And yeah, again, it's just something you do. And in terms of like going to school and stuff, like, did it ever impact kind of school in that way? Kind of, if you're doing all that before you can even get ready.
Yeah, sometimes I'd forget something that I needed for school, and like while I was at school, I'd just be worried about her constantly. Like I wouldn't really focus that much.
Yeah. And so, I mean, kind of finally, Grace, then, in terms of kind of your caring role when kind of your mum is having a particularly bad day, if she's like really tired or anything, kind of, or if anything else happens. I know there's been a couple of instances that we've spoken about in detail before, but what might that look like a day kind of for you if kind of that's going on?
Well, oh God, it usually starts when my mum's quite breathless because of her heart failure. Obviously the blood doesn't get around her body quick enough, and so she gets quite breathless, and in some occasions I've had to call 999 or 111, and the paramedics have had to come over, take her to hospital as well. She can have seizures like Lottie's mom, and she has before, but a bad day, either she's breathless, aching, literally just can't get out of bed. She's that sick, so it's really sad. Yeah,
it's quite. I mean, I don't think we've kind of gone around it a little bit in terms of obviously your mum's kind of physical health, but I mean, do you know? Again, you don't have to kind of say, but I know we've spoken about it before with other people in like what condition your mum has exactly, because I always find it incredible when the knowledge you have on this is just mind-blowing.
Well, my mum was first diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia in 2020, and she'd had it the first time. This was the second time she'd had it, because she'd had it the first time in 2002. So she had it again in 2020, and the chemo for that, it got rid of it. She also had a stem cell transplant, but from that, she got something called encephalitis, which is a brain disease where your brain, it swells up and it's really bad. From the treatment for the encephalitis, she got kidney disease and heart failure, which she's got now and is suffering with now. And she might have to be put on, she's got so many different medications, but she might be getting put on, it's this thing, I can't remember what it's called. Oh God, I'll have to think about it.
It'll come to you. I know when we've spoken before and you've just listed off kind of all of these people that have been involved and all of these kind of medications that, as you said, you monitor yourself essentially is absolutely incredible, and how you do it is, I'm always blown away by kind of all of you when you speak about your caring roles and kind of how you manage it. But I guess I kind of want to dive in. I mean, when we're talking about emotional caring in particular and kind of with mental health, and a lot of these physical caring roles do end up kind of leading into kind of everyone's mental health, whether it be kind of our own mental health or even the person we care for. I mean, it was reported recently that it's something like 1 in 10 young people live with someone that has severe mental health in their household, which is a crazy statistic, and it only seems to be kind of increasing in that way. But yeah, I think when we're talking about a lot of things, I mean, in terms of our own mental health and how it impacts us, there's a number of different areas that young carers in particular always mention when it comes to, well, this affects this, and this, the caring role affects this, and this does this. So I just thought we'd kind of take a little bit of a dive into some of the caring roles and just see where it has impacted you maybe the most in your day-to-day life, because we're all of different ages. Some of us a bit older than others, I will say, but we're all kind of at different stages, and also we all live very different lives. We all have different hobbies, we all have different interests, and how that might kind of have impacted. So the first one is like physical. I mean, I was incredibly surprised to find out that the other day that young carers have 3 times more likely to suffer with musculoskeletal problems than any other young person.
Really?
And that's mainly because of people like Christian doing all these physical caring roles, having to lift people, and that leads to long-term problems. Might be the reason why my knees are absolutely screwed, to be honest, at this point. But I mean, has any of your care roles ever kind of affected you physically?
Could you say what that is for people that don't?
So when we talk about musculoskeletal kind of conditions, what we're talking about is conditions that essentially affect either muscles or kind of bones. So it could be your joints, could be ligaments, could be cartilage, all those type of things. And any young carers have reported that there is more issues with kind of, fatigue when it comes to muscle problems, when it comes to joint problems, things with ligaments and all of this. So when it comes to those type of conditions, interesting, and it'd be interesting to kind of see how any of your care roles have ever affected you. And I guess kind of I'll come to Christian again first, because with your care role, how kind of physical it probably was at some points. Did it ever kind of affect you in any way?
I mean, I would be achy, like my joints would ache basically, like most of the time of the day. But that, like, I was also diagnosed with hypermobile joints as well, so that didn't really help as much. So all my joints would ache, and my legs would be basically just like not broken, but they would feel like they were not holding me up, basically.
Yeah. Or it's like, what are they? Is it the same as double jointed? They used to kind of call it
similar,
double
yeah.
back in the day. Weird. Kind of, double jointed. Kind of fix me out anything else. Grace, how has it affected you with your kind of physical health?
Well, God, a lot happened when my mum went into hospital for the first time with the leukemia. And I went to my dad's, and I was like, there was a whole thing. There was a lot of stress and stuff. And from that, I was just so tired, and I got really sick. I developed something called chronic fatigue. It basically, I'm literally tired all the time. I can sleep for like 17 hours and still feel really tired. It's really bad.
Wow.
You know, I've got psychiatrists for it, which is on top of like everything I have to do for my mum. It's really bad, you know, and it stresses me out so much. But I have to take care of my mum as well. So, yeah.
Lottie?
I don't really like, because it's more like emotional and stuff. I didn't gain any physical problems from it, but I mean, in a way it's kind of made me more like lazy, because like, no, seriously, because from the like very, very young age, my mum, because of her ADHD and her like hyper focus and stuff, she has not been able to clean like ever since. And so my house is always messy, and there was times that you could not see floor. It was just stuff. And like now because I like was brought up looking up to that, I don't clean like much. Like I try to, because I don't want to become someone who like has stuff everywhere. But like I find it really hard. And like even if like that wasn't something that I had to deal with, like from watching my mum do it, I'd still have to clean up and make sure everything's in a bit of an order for my mum. So like, yeah,
and I think when it comes to it, like, it's not only that. I mean, when you say kind of being lazy, I can't describe any of you as lazy. Like, knowing all of you very well, I can't describe any of you as lazy. But when you have young when you're a young carer and you're doing all of this caring role and you're doing so much all the time, to just sit on your phone and just do nothing is quite nice. And it feels like I've got to do something, I've got to keep doing something else because there's so much always going on around you. But actually, to sit there and have a minute to yourself is not being lazy.
And then our parents complain that we're on our phones too much.
Yeah, they always will. They do at me even now, and I don't even live at home.
Phone.
Exactly. It will always happen.
Scott's just been to a come to Skibidi Scott. Just can't get off his phone.
You know what? I was hoping we were going to get through at least the first episode.
Oh, definitely not.
I can imagine Scott sitting crisscross applesauce with the open mouth coughing, like watching Skibidi.
Somehow I did end up in some TikTok dances at the barbecue, and I'm not quite sure.
Oh my god, you were!
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that happened.
I forgot. I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
He actually was.
They're going nowhere. But yeah, I think all of this is, it's one of those that, so for some people it really does make them absolutely knackered. Like say in Grace's case, like you're just tired all the time. But for some people, yeah, it doesn't. But it takes more of an emotional toll in that sense. And I think we'll dive into that a little bit because like he's already putting a hand up. Because when it comes to the emotional side of it,
I've just got something to say.
It's quite much. But go on.
With having a minute to yourself is really nice. I don't want to speak on behalf of any other young carers, but for me it does just make me burnt out all the time. And I find myself there's these things that I really enjoy, and if I could do them all the time I would totally love to. But after a bad day or something's gone on at school but I can't tell my mum about it because she's going to get stressed out, I just don't have the motivation to do anything, and I can just sit there for hours and hours and literally not move from my bed. And that isn't oh, I'm too comfy, oh, I'm too engrossed in my phone. That's me. I literally feel like I cannot get up because it's just burnt me out so much. Yeah.
And I don't think you're alone. I'm hoping there's lots of young people listen to this that will kind of relate to everything that you guys are saying across this. And that plays it plays into your own kind of mental well-being and your own kind of mental health in these situations. And I mean, we'll stick with you, because I think, in terms of your own mental health and how this has impacted you, I mean, quite obviously from what you're saying, it's kind of had an impact in some way. I mean, do you want to kind of elaborate a little bit?
So, from the sort of, loneliness, it's, not been great, and I've started to, develop almost trust issues in a way, because I almost assume that everyone's like my mum, that if I tell them something they're going to freak out and not be okay. And I don't want that. And then anytime I go to my dad's, I'm also a bit alone because my dad is my dad's got autism himself, and so I don't have to care for him because I'm not there often enough, and he's very good at caring for himself. And I would say my sister's the predominant carer if he needed one. But then I do have this one brother, and he's got autism, but he's about Christian's age, and so mentally he's basically about my age. So he is my best friend, but some days it could be really a bad day for him. So, and because I'm only there 4 days a month, I don't really have any dedicated time I can spend with him. And because even though there's 6 people in the house at my dad's, I still don't have anyone.
It's a lot of people.
And at the end of the day, I do want a break from my mum. So if I wanted to be alone, then that's my time. Yeah.
And I think in terms of that mental health as well, I mean, have you had any support and anyone's talked to kind of about this? I know obviously you said family wise it's difficult.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you? I know there were a couple of people that may have you spoken to. I mean, was there anything that helped in particular?
But what with counselling and stuff?
I mean, counselling. I mean, what type of counselling did you have, if there was any?
So I had a lot of mental health support because through the ages of 10 to now, I was in the worst place of my life, and I just I couldn't deal with that on my own. So I did need people, and we didn't speak. I don't think I mentioned my mum at all in any of those sessions, and I've had 4 lots of 12-week sessions, and so that's a lot of support, which is great for me. But it's what I'm trying to say is that it does have a massive impact on yourself. And I've spoken to professionals about how I feel, and the only stuff that really helped me is stuff like young carers who get me out the house and remind me that I'm not alone. because I have this like massive community of people who are also like similar in a way, because two of my best friends, Grace and Christian, are also young carers, and I can like trust them with anything that I need to talk about, which I can't talk about at home, like or like with school friends or
I
anything.
mean, you text me all the time asking about utter crap, don't you?
Pardon?
You text me all the time asking about utter crap, don't you?
Yeah, but what I find,
Just
I mean,
advice.
I remember coming in, and I remember coming in to see you in school many
Yeah.
moons ago and drawing silly pictures on your whiteboard. That
Oh,
were
yeah.
stuck there.
There's some of them are still there after
yeah.
like 2 years.
In that case, they need to have a word with their cleaner, because
No, I
they really
know.
should have been rubbed off by now.
It's
but
in the counselling
we've-
room, and
Bang into my leg all
my
the
little
time.
English fella is like still
Yeah.
in the corner.
But I mean, I remember when I first came and saw you, and how, like I say, you didn't really want to say anything, and you know what we are. Just over a
Hello.
year later, you're sat on a podcast talking about it, and
Yeah.
not to mention, you have two people beside you who I didn't intentionally hook you up with, I will say, but somehow you've all kind of found each
I
other,
know.
which is kind of the point of what we're doing here. But
Mine are so bad.
I mean, if we're talking about, again, the kind of emotional side of it, I mean, Grace, is how has your caring role, is it ever kind of had impacted you emotionally in that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. I hated school because of
Oh,
my,
yeah.
I genuinely hated school.
Why?
Because when I went to my middle school,
What's the middle school?
it's what posh people go to. You wouldn't understand, unfortunately.
It wasn't.
I think we do need to mention what middle school is, because
Oh, is it
so
like
this
is it like year
so-
6 to like
Year 6 to year 8. That's what I
okay.
went to. I went to
Yeah.
middle school.
Anyway,
Fight me.
school.
Yeah, when I went to my middle
Yeah, I
school, year 8 was probably like the worst life of my life. Sorry, worst year of my life. I did want to go in. My attendance was under halfway. I was getting bullied, like severely bullied. I wanted to stay at home and take care of my mum. I was scared like something was going to happen to her.
Yeah.
And then my head teacher gave me a panic attack by shouting at me the one day I went in.
Told me about that.
Yeah. So yeah, it has really affected my mental health. I'm slowly coming out of like where I was. Like I'm feeling so much better. And like, well, because of these guys, like support from like carers and stuff like that.
He's talking about me.
But yeah, but yeah, it really does like affect people's mental health, like mine as well. It was really shocking,
Yeah,
and like
and-
people don't really ask about it.
And have you had any help? Like, has anyone kind of, other than obviously, I know kind of we've been mentioned, kind of young carers, but have you had any kind of mental health support kind of outside?
No, I've had a few people say I should probably get counselling, but I don't. I feel like me and my mum are very close. Like, I mean, it's just us at home, so we are really close.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like I tell my mum everything, but sometimes, you know, even those small things that I don't tell her do build up, and I feel like even worse.
Yeah.
But no, I've never had any counselling or anything like that. I've just never felt the need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I also feel like it'd put more stress on my mum, because I don't think she wants to acknowledge that, you know, she's got a child who's not only taking care of her but also has severe mental health. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's a tricky balancing act, and you know how it might actually play out. Sometimes in your head might be worse than what it is, but yeah, it kind of makes perfect sense in that way. And Christian,
Hello.
hello, how are you?
Been the silent one.
What about you? How is yours kind of? I mean, you're a bit older now, so
Yeah.
you've kind of done a lot of your education, you've done a lot of your exams and stuff. But I mean, how has your mental health kind of been throughout kind of your caring journey?
I mean, it's been kind of like an up and down journey, really, because in primary school, I hated primary school because it just gave me no. Well, I had a person I could go talk to, but that was the only person that really understood anything. Like, the head teacher didn't, teachers didn't, some of my friends did, not all of them. And I had to go to therapy as well when I was like 7, 8, probably around then, something like that. And then start of secondary school was kind of similar, but then I kind of got better.
Yeah. Okay. And again, have you ever had any kind of support or anyone to kind of talk to in that sense that isn't kind of family members or kind of someone at school maybe? Or
Yeah, I had someone when I was in primary school. I had someone to talk to, and I had someone in secondary school as well to talk to. But that was mostly it.
Yeah. And I think, seeing as we're already talking about education, I mean, we've kind of brought it up in a number of occasions now. Like, how has school been for everyone? And we are, at the time of recording, probably about 2 days out from all of you going back to school. Other than you, Christian.
Except me, I go back.
You've got weeks
I know.
because you're in college, but we're all kind of looking at going back, and with that, obviously, you know, some of us are going into like year 11. Obviously, quite a big year in that sense.
You'll do fine.
And I mean, how has school been for everyone kind of throughout? And we'll go back a little bit, and you've all kind of gone from primary to secondary. Obviously, some of us have gone to posh schools and we've gone from primary to middle, to going down that route. As you, I'm just saying what you said. But what how has that looked? I mean, you, Kristen, you just mentioned it, kind of some of the support, but what was school like, especially maybe when you're a bit younger, and obviously kind of with such a physical caring role at such a young age can do quite a lot. What might that kind of look like?
Could you elaborate? Sorry.
So, how did it impact your education?
Oh.
Did it with things maybe like homework? I know.
Yeah, I didn't really concentrate much on homework in primary school, and I didn't really concentrate much in lessons. And secondary school was a little better. I did concentrate more because it was like, well, I missed half of my education because of the big C.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that one. Yeah.
I was in year 4.
I know, I was in year
helps.
7, so I missed half of my education because of that, which didn't help. But it got a little better after that.
Mm-hmm.
I concentrated more, and I was like, as I reached to like year 10 and 11, I was like more concentrated because obviously GCSEs was coming around the corner.
Yeah. How did it impact your exams in that sense? Did you find exams absolutely fine or good, or was it kind of a bit trickier?
I sort of had just the normal emotions you have in exams, like it's just stressed about it mostly.
Yeah.
And if I was going to do all right.
Yeah.
But
okay. And I mean, Lottie,
It's got really short.
was your seat just dropped out of nowhere?
No, I was doing that because I was like, needed something to
Wait, I think
feel
it'll go
with.
higher if you stand up. Stand up and press the button.
oh gosh,
We need you to reach the
no,
mic.
just
It'll be fine.
it's fine.
Anyway, school. How has your school been? Obviously, primary school, kind of through to secondary. How was your primary school as you were kind of coming through, and kind of any support there?
So, when I was in primary school, was like year 6 was like absolutely the worst year of my life because my family, like as a whole, was going through its like worst time, and then I was also getting bullied really bad, and then like everything was sort of going on. So I was in the head teacher's office twice a day, like. I was probably in the head teacher's office more than I was in lessons. Like it was a big like chunk, and I'd just be talking and crying and talking and crying, and it would just keep going on like that. And they helped a lot, and the 2 teachers that helped me were like the best teachers I've ever had. Like they were amazing, and they helped me and my mum so much. But at the same time, like, because of my caring role and because everything was going on, which made my mum the worst she's ever been, and that's when she started developing seizures about how bad it was when I was in year 6.
Yeah.
But it sort of just got worse now. Like, that's when they sort of realised that I need some, like, outside of school help. And then they put me into young carers.
And then when you transitioned up into secondary, how was the transition for one going from primary to secondary?
The transition was okay, and I'm not sure if you guys can notice, but I think I'm a little bit confident. I think I can talk to people a bit, but I'm not like sure or anything. So like it was quite easy for me to make friends, and like I sort of jumped into secondary school like being ready and like just like open to new opportunities and open to sort of get my life a bit better. And like all the kids from primary who like bullied me, like there was like 3 main kids, they all went to my secondary school, but then like it's a whole new environment, so even if they kept doing it, I'm just like totally like I don't care. Like
it's a good mindset to have.
Exactly. So like I just kind of went into secondary school with a whole new like mindset, and like I keep saying like. It helped me. And oh my god, I was going to say something.
How great. I mean, you kind of touched on a little bit in terms of like when things like homework and stuff like that, and kind of your education. I mean, you're obviously coming up to kind of year 11 now. Great.
She's looking at both of us.
Just looking in that direction. What is there anywhere that like how has your educational school kind of been impacted by your caring role? I mean, you said you haven't been at school for obviously a period, so
yeah. Other than my attendance, my homework's probably been a bit crap. I don't really like doing my homework. Well, especially because I've got all that stuff at home. I'm just like, I think it's just like changed my view on school as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is better now that I'm in high school. I love my high school so much.
Yeah.
My teachers have been
teachers
have been really nice. But my teachers have. It is high school.
It is high school.
We used to call it high school. Yeah.
To be
High
honest, the
school.
school I was going to go to was a high school, but whatever.
School, but get out.
My secondary school
But
was
yeah,
high school.
no. Yeah, no. My teachers are really lovely. Like they're so helpful. It's part, my middle school wasn't very good at all, and my primary school I wasn't a carer when I was in primary school.
Yeah.
I only started being a carer in year 7, so that's when it all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the final bit that kind of young people kind of saying it, you've obviously kind of alluded to it slightly, but in terms of it's kind of social life and how that affects, I mean, have any of you kind of had any issues maybe going to like clubs or kind of doing hobbies and stuff? I mean, I know Grace loves shopping all the time, so I don't know if I can come to hers immediately. But, Lottie.
Can I circle back to homework really quickly?
Go on.
So for me, like I said earlier, how my house is always messy. In primary school, I was a very, very smart kid in primary school, and I was
Surprising.
get out. I was really focused on my education. I was trying to like do the best thing I could, and so in class I was silent. I had my head down. Like you would not think primary school me and now me are the same person. I was so quiet. Like I didn't speak at all, and I would do my work all the time. I'd focus on it so hard. But the second it came to home, it like all went down, and like I would want to do my homework because I wanted to excel and I wanted to be really good at school. But then I'd go home, and even if I had the motivation to do it, like I said, I was always burnt out. Even like at that age, I would like have to find somewhat of a clean surface to like do it on. I'd have to find pens that aren't dried out, that aren't just like a working pen.
Yeah.
I'd have to find everything, and then I'm also at the same time I'm also like 9 years old, so if there's something that I can't do in the question, I'll have to ask the one person who's in the home, and that's my mum. And even at that age, I sort of knew that I don't want to go to my mum with things that stress me out because it will stress her out.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, and that is what you've described there is exactly a direct impact of your caring role and your home situation on your education, and it's exactly that. And hopefully, obviously, the school you're in now very much much more aware of young carers and kind of putting in some support that might be. So hopefully they're a bit more supportive in that sense. But we're going to circle back around. So we're going to do. We've done kind of a 180. We're going back 360, and we're going to. Is that right? I don't know. 180. We're going somewhere.
180 is halfway.
A direction.
How has it impacted kind of all your kind of hobbies and stuff, and what you kind of want to get involved in? Christian, we'll leave those two talk in the corner for a second.
I want to listen to Christian.
I mean, it was kind of like I was more social really during like year 9 of secondary school. I was never really a social person in primary school. Obviously, I had my friends, and I'd go around their house or whatever when I could. But no, I was more social during year 9, year 10, year 11 onwards now, and my hobbies were like.
You're a theatre kid, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a theatre kid.
Who
I was now. I wasn't when I was little. Well, I kind of was. My first ever hobby was like doing like arts and crafts because that was like the most kind of basic thing I could do really at home. And then
sort of most like accessible
accessible one. And then it kind of carried on into drumming, and then as I hit secondary school, it was like keyboard, pianist, and like guitarist, and singer.
Yeah.
And then it's evolved into a theatre kid.
into a theatre.
Who would think
Yeah.
arts and crafts plus music would turn into a theatre?
He's not seen issues. He's been doing arts and crafts for quite a while. I mean,
Absolute fashion statement.
I don't know
This
if the
is like-
I don't know
this
if
is
the
the
camera's
most
picking it up because the
stupid
camera
question
was
I will
having an
ever
absolute
ask.
fit looking at this.
But did you paint them or was like
No,
buy it like that?
that's the design.
Pay extra
Okay,
for
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Jackson Pollock, just
Are
like
they
roasting
Timberland?
it. Just like,
Let's go and
If you
zoom
can,
in.
Are they
if
Timberland?
Yeah, they're Timberland.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Did you get them
Smoke's gonna start coming off the camera.
There we go.
did you like personally get them painted by Jackson
No.
Pollock?
But yeah, limited edition Timberland shoes.
They're
You
just...
can get them on eBay now.
I do like
How
this.
much did you get them for?
Oh,
They were 100 and
Sponsored.
something.
Wait,
limited edition,
we're not
but they're,
sponsored.
like,
Loki, do you like my
$200.
shoes that I've had for 2 years?
Not sponsored by Timberland.
But if you want to sponsor us,
Anyway, I mean, in terms of, again, social life. So, I mean, the other two, kind of two of you, how's it like? Has it really impacted your social life? Has it kind of stopped you from going out doing things with friends,
do you want
etc.,
to
or
talk first, or shall I?
has it kind of how has it been relatively okay, and you kind of managed to kind of deal with it?
For me, it's not really affected me because my mum still she's very independent. She
Yeah.
lets me go out still. She does her best, like she's trying to get over this illness.
Yeah.
You know, she does her best, takes me out when I want to. She says that she's a chauffeur, but obviously
So
she's
my
not. So I see my friends quite often, and they all know about the situation as well. So if I can't go out or if I
They'd
have to
understand.
cancel, they'd understand. So my social life and things like that haven't really been affected that much. Money has always been a bit of a problem though.
Yeah.
So like you know, that's a completely different subject.
Yeah.
But I can do clubs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I do dance and things like that. So you know, my mum definitely tries her best.
She
So it
does.
hasn't really affected me.
Yeah.
To you.
And Lottie.
Here we go.
I don't think, to be honest, it's impacted me in a negative way because in primary and like the start of year 7 when my mum was trying to get a bit better, obviously the house was like a mess, so no one would come round because my mum was like too ashamed of it. Which like looking back, like then I was upset, but looking back now I completely understand because if I couldn't walk on the floor, how would I expect a guest to feel safe and like, you know what I mean? So like in primary it definitely had like an effect on me. But then now in secondary, because I had to learn everything by myself and do everything by myself, I've become so independent, and I had this big friend group. It was like 14 people, like it was massive, and I spent the like last half of year 8 sort of hanging out with them.
Popular girlfriend group.
No, it was literally all lads. There was 3 girls, the rest of them were lads.
Oh, you're one of the boys. Da boys.
We done boys.
We and da boys.
One of us.
One of us. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're not doing that. I'm
Not
sorry.
this podcast.
Please, can we cut that out? That was really embarrassing.
Anyway, Lottie.
I sort of had to be the mum of the friend group, which I quite like because obviously like I've grown up like caring for people and looking after people. But like I don't know, it was really nice to like continue doing what I love doing, which is looking after people. Like that's the job I want to go into and stuff. But like
Well, you know what? We're going to go through there because I think one of the things you said about kind of young people and caring, I mean, very much, you know, I think a lot of young carers do take on that kind of mum role in the group in
Yeah.
that sense and kind of look after. But I mean, you said about kind of future ambition, what you want to go into. So what do you want to do when you're older?
I want to do stuff like you. Like I want to be there for like young people and like.
Inspiration. What's your inspiration?
But I want to help young people and I want to help young carers. But the thing is, like, I just want to like help like young people just in a general sense. Like I want people to be able to feel comfortable with me with like anything that they need, not even if it's like a caring role.
Yeah.
And like if if I'm not able to do that when I'm older, I think I'd be like very upset with myself because it's something I've loved doing since the age of like 2 years old. So I mean, other than being like a singer, like a zoologist.
And speaking of singers, Grace,
Oh, what's
what I know there's 2 of you, but I mean, Grace, what do you want to do when you grow up?
I don't want to be a singer. I want to be a police officer. Yeah, I've
You
been.
could be a
I've
singing
wanted.
police officer.
Singing
You're
police officer.
under arrest.
That is. That's a niche. That is a niche.
Oh no.
You know what? Other singer. What do you want to do when you're older then?
Am I just being kicked out of the singer group?
Yeah.
I think so.
I got 2 options. I say options. It's not like I could choose. Either something.
Give a guess.
because I'm in a band at the moment and I drum in that band. Hopefully, if that goes far or anything, something to do with that.
Yeah.
If not, West End in London.
Why not?
Theatre
Why
gigs?
not? And when we went
Yeah.
around London,
Good.
we did see all the kind of the West
Yeah, I
End
know.
things. Well,
Wow.
this has all been like amazing. Like I've learned so much, and I'm hoping everyone that's listening has kind of learned a lot more about young carers, kind of all of your kind of different individual lives and how it's impacted. But I guess the last thing that I want to ask before we kind of wrap all this up is very much like, why should people care and help young carers? I'm going to throw it out there. Does anyone want to jump in? Why should people be more aware of young carers, and why should they help?
Because there's obviously, like you said, there's over 7,000 carers in each county, I think. That's 2 in every classroom. People need this. It makes people stable, I think, having, like, knowing that there's other people around. And if we got more recognition to the groups and to the whole cause and stuff, it'd definitely help a lot of people. You know, a lot of kids. And yeah.
They are
Yeah,
the future.
kids.
Anyone else?
Gotta help the kiddos.
They are the future.
Lottie,
Wait.
why should people
Oh, God,
listen?
gosh.
Why should people care about young carers?
2 things. One, it could help with like future job opportunities, because like I said like 5 seconds ago, is that I want to like do something like social work, and I think having the experience of caring for people since like the age of like 4 will like really help with that. And then the other thing is reasons why like people should look out for young carers is that like kids like from like when they start puberty to like the age of like 18, like they don't really understand like what's going on. Could like some person could have a completely like normal life and like a normal whatever, but then another person could have like stuff that I'm going through, stuff that Grace is going through, stuff that Christian's going through, and every person will think that's how everyone lives their day-to-day life. And at the end of the day, like Grace said, it's 2 in every classroom, and those 2 need to be looked at, like helped for, like everyone
need
deserves
support.
to be like helped, but like those 2 people just need extra support, because they're gonna continue their rest of their life thinking that's like how like that's the expectation of how you're going to live, and then that's gonna like go on into their adult life, and that might ruin their life. Like
Big impact. Anything you want to add, Christian?
I think it's pretty much been said.
It's all been said. Well, in that case, we'll wrap up this episode of Still
Love
Young,
you, don't forget to
Still
smile.
Caring. I have been
If you hit my chair one more
Skibbity
time.
Scott.
sorry.
I'll say it. That's been Grace. That's been Lottie. That's been Christian.
Thank you
Yes.
for
Thank you,
listening.
everybody, for
we've been
listening.
Gritty Grace.